Why does it feel like the moment you pray for a bigger life, the world around you begins to die? You ask for strength and you're met with isolation. You ask for growth and you lose the very people you thought would be there to see it. You call it a test, a tragedy, maybe even a punishment. But what if it's an answer? What if this profound, painful separation is not a sign that you've been forgotten, but the clearest sign that you have been heard? This is the secret they never tell you about creation. Before God blesses, He separates. And by the end of this journey together, you will not only understand why you had to be set apart, you will embrace it as the most powerful divine act of love you have ever received. Your anointing is in your isolation. You feel it, don't you? A profound and unsettling quiet. The world you knew, the voices that once echoed in your mind have faded into a strange and hollow silence. You call it loneliness, abandonment. But that's a story told by the shadow self, the part of you that still seeks validation from the outside world. I am here to tell you that feeling is a sacred summons. It's not a punishment. It is a holy preparation. The universe isn't pushing you away. It is pulling you inward, into the great workshop of consciousness. This isolation you feel is not an absence, oh no. It is a presence. It is the operant power of the divine, clearing the stage for a masterpiece. It's an invitation to stop looking for answers in the echoes of others, and to finally listen to the voice that creates worlds. Your own. The one that whispers, "You already are." This is not the end of your world. It's the beginning of your real one. Now go deeper. See the pattern. The people who walked away, the doors that slammed shut, the paths that became dead ends. You saw it as rejection, a cosmic no. But what if it was a divine protection, a preservation of the promise stirring within your soul? God, the I am within you, doesn't remove things to harm you. It removes things to make room. It disconnects the calls that would have diluted your purpose. It silences the voices that would have planted seeds of doubt in the fertile soil of your imagination. This is a sacred quarantine, a holy fire burning away the flimsy bridges that lead back to your old state. The external noise must cease, for the frequency of your new assumption is subtle, powerful, and requires your undivided attention. Your inner world is being prepared for a new king, a new ruler, the awareness of your wish fulfilled. And that new state cannot be born in chaos. This sacred separation is, at its core, a profound mental reorganization. Your focus, for so long scattered to the winds, is being called home. It's a forced withdrawal from the addiction of external applause, from the desperate need for outside agreement. The grandstands are empty for a reason. The game is no longer being played out there. It's being won in here. In the silent stadium of your own mind, you are shifting from an observer of your life to the sole operant power within it. This is the time to build your inner structure, to lay the foundation of a new state of consciousness, stone by silent stone. The world can't see it. They can't cheer for it, because it is not for them. This internal temple is being built within your imagination, a fortress of feeling so unshakable that it will soon command the entire outer world to conform to its design. Look around this quiet space, feel its power. Every moment of solitude is a brick, every disappointment a tool for shaping. You thought you were being dismantled, but you are being meticulously, divinely constructed. This isn't loss. It's architecture of the soul, the old scaffolding of who you thought you were. The person who needed their approval, their love, their permission, must come crashing down. It has to. So the permanent, indestructible truth of the I am can finally be revealed. You are not being broken. You are being born. Your imagination is the womb, and the feeling of your desire is the heartbeat. This is not a passive waiting. It is an active, potent, silent creation. You are selecting a new reality by daring to stand alone with your assumption, treating it not as a dream, but as a memory of the future. And so this feeling, this holy void, is not emptiness. It is everything. It is the fertile darkness before the dawn, the silence from which all symphonies are born. You are being drawn into the secret place, the very center of your own being, where the true selection happens. This is the ultimate recalibration. A deliberate separation from your old self to allow for a divine union with the new you, the you that already has it all, the you that is the blessing itself. The feeling of being apart from the world is simply the prelude to feeling at one with your true power. You are not just being prepared for a blessing. You are becoming it. And this feeling, this is the key to it all. But that's only the surface. Now we go deeper. You must understand, this path you walk is not new. Your feeling of isolation is not a random glitch in your reality. It is an ancient, sacred pattern, a divine footprint left by every great soul that has ever walked this earth. Look back through the corridors of time. The greatest missions were always preceded by the greatest separation. This is not a sign that you are lost. Oh no. It is the unmistakable sign that you have been chosen. Your consciousness is being led through a sacred initiation, a rite of passage known only to those destined for a higher state of being. The I Am within you is not improvising. It is following a blueprint for divinity, a sequence of events that awakens the sleeping giant within. You are not falling apart. You are falling into line with the giants of history. Think of the ones who shaped worlds. Joseph thrown into a pit, sold and forgotten in a prison. To the outer world he was abandoned, a failure. But in the silence of that cell, his inner world was being forged. His imagination became his only kingdom. He had to be stripped of his identity as a favored son to discover his true operant power as a visionary, a king in waiting. Moses, a prince of Egypt, cast out into the desolate wilderness for 40 years. He was separated from everything he knew, every comfort, every definition of himself. That desert wasn't a punishment. It was a crucible. It burned away the man he thought he was, so the great I Am could speak through him, turning a fugitive into a liberator. Their perceived abandonment was their true anointing. It was the necessary void for a new consciousness to be born. The pattern is everywhere. David, the forgotten shepherd boy, alone in the fields with only his thoughts and a higher presence. It was in that solitude, away from the noise of his family and the world, that he cultivated the inner conviction of a king. Jesus, driven into the wilderness for 40 days. A profound separation, a confrontation not with external demons but with the internal states of lack, fear, and doubt. He had to face and conquer the assumptions of the world to fully embody his divine assumption. This period of isolation, this seeming emptiness, was the final preparation. The silence was the confirmation. It was the moment of ultimate selection, choosing the I Am over the chorus of external voices. They had to walk away from the world to learn how to command it. As the great thinker Napoleon Hill perceived, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Do you see it now? Their prisons, their deserts, their wildernesses. They were not curses. They were the very soil in which the seeds of greatness were planted. The pressure of that solitude was the force that cracked open the hard shell of their former selves, allowing an immense power to surge forth. This isn't a story about suffering. It is a story about divine alchemy, a testament to the law of creation. Your current state of isolation is that alchemical fire. It is designed to transmute your pain into power, your fear into faith, your loneliness into an unbreakable union with your inner world. Feeling is the key that turns the lead of your old reality into the gold of your new one. And now feel this truth in your own bones. This pattern is not just a story in a book. It is alive. It is breathing. It is happening within you right now. This separation you're enduring is your desert. This silence is your training ground. You are not being forgotten by God. You are being personally molded by the very consciousness that creates universes. The same hand, the same infinite intelligence that refined Moses and strengthened David is sharpening you. It is carving you. It is preparing you for a mission your old self cannot yet comprehend. This is not adversity for the sake of pain. This is adversity as a tool of creation. And this feeling of being set apart, this is the seed of your magnificent promise. Here's what changes everything: that silence. You have been running from it for so long. You've mistaken it for absence, for a deadline on the cosmic phone. But I am here to tell you, the silence is the voice. It is the very language of God. The infinite I Am does not compete with the frantic, desperate noise of the outer world. It doesn't shout over your fears or argue with your doubts. It waits. It is a presence so profound, so vast, that it can only be perceived when all other vibrations cease. God doesn't speak into the silence. God is the silence. And the reason you have been drawn into this sacred void is so you can finally stop listening to the echoes and start hearing the source. This is not emptiness you're feeling. It is a broadcasting station for divine revelation. And your consciousness is just now learning how to tune in to the right frequency. The deepest truths are never revealed in the marketplace. They are whispered in secret, in the quiet chambers of your own heart. God doesn't put on a show for the crowd. The revelation is for you and you alone. The infinite intelligence must pull you away from the hypnotic rhythm of the collective, from the endless parade of external influences. It has to, because the world's noise is designed to keep you asleep, to keep you locked in a state of reaction, forever seeking cues from outside yourself. This separation is an act of divine love. It is an intervention. You are being pulled into the secret place of your own consciousness so you can have a conversation that is uncontaminated by the opinions and assumptions of others. Here, in the quiet, you are not just a spectator of reality. You are in the very throne room of creation. It is in these moments of profound inner stillness that the real work is done. This is where creative transmutation occurs. When the mind, free from the duty of responding to the outer world, finally turns its gaze upon itself, a powerful alchemy begins. The pains of your past, the anxieties about your future, they are not suppressed. They are observed, and in that loving, silent observation, they are transformed. Your imagination becomes a sacred furnace, turning the lead of old grievances into the gold of new convictions. New ideas, solutions that were impossible to see in the chaos, now arise effortlessly from the depths of your being. You are not just being quiet. You are actively reorganizing the very substance of your mind, preparing the soil for the seeds of a reality that has never before existed. This divine silence is a filter. Its purpose is to clarify, to purify, to burn away everything that is not you. Who are you when you are not performing for a title, for a relationship, for an audience? Who are you when the desperate need to please others is finally starved into submission? God separates you from the crowd so your true identity can be revealed. The masks you've worn, the identities you've borrowed, the limitations you've accepted as your own, they all dissolve in this holy quiet. What remains is the raw, undeniable, and potent essence of the I Am. Your true purpose was never something you had to find out there. It was always waiting to be remembered in here. The noise was just a distraction from the coronation that was already taking place within. And this clarity, this potent remembrance of who you are, it is the prelude to action. This is not a permanent retreat from the world. It is the sharpening of the sword before the battle. The silence has shown you what is true and what is false. It has revealed the attachments, the dependencies, and the weak structures in your inner world that cannot support the weight of the coming blessing. The revelation has been given. The blueprint has been clarified. And now the divine architect must clear the land. The silence was the diagnosis. Now, the sacred demolition must begin. It's a process of purposeful pruning, designed not to harm you but to set you free. When God begins to separate, know this: a deep and irreversible transformation is not just coming, it is already here. The tremors you feel in your life are not the signs of a collapse, but the undeniable proof of a new construction. The I Am consciousness within you has moved from silent revelation to active rearrangement. It is now reshaping your holographic reality, and for the new to arise, the old must be cleared. This is not chaos. It is a controlled divine demolition. Friends may vanish, opportunities may dissolve, and the very structures you built your life upon may turn to dust. Do not mistake this for failure. This is the sound of your prayer being answered. It is the sound of your higher self clearing the path for the blessing you asked for. You see a closed door and you feel the sting of rejection, a dead end, but you're seeing it with your old eyes. The I Am within you is the master strategist. It is closing the doors that lead to smaller destinies, to lukewarm realities you thought you wanted, but which would have imprisoned your soul. It is lovingly and sometimes forcefully protecting you from your own limited assumptions. It is saving you from the good so you can receive the great. Every person who walks away, every plan that falls through, is not a punishment. It is a divine course correction. It is the universe shouting no to your past so it can whisper a profound yes to your future. You are not being blocked. You are being guided onto the high and narrow path where your true purpose awaits. Think of yourself as a sacred tree, a divine vine. The gardener does not prune the branches to harm the tree. He cuts them back, sometimes severely, to redirect the life force, to ensure the fruit that comes forth is abundant, strong, and magnificent. This is what is happening to you. The relationships that drain your energy, the habits that keep your consciousness small, the beliefs that bear no fruit, they are being pruned. It feels violent. It feels like a loss. But the infinite intelligence is merely concentrating your power. It is cutting away every distraction so that your full, undivided operant power flows toward one single aim, the embodiment of your new state. You are not being diminished. You are being focused for a greater harvest. You cannot receive a new reality while your hands are still clinging to the old one. You must be emptied to be filled. This great pruning is creating a holy vacuum in your life. You are being stripped of emotional dependencies, intellectual certainties, and comfortable distractions. This space can feel terrifying, but it is the most sacred space you can inhabit. It is the chalice being emptied of stale water so it can be filled with the new wine of divine inspiration. You are letting go of expectation so you can receive true vision. You are releasing the need for external validation so you can be filled with internal knowing. This emptiness is not a void to be feared. It is a womb being prepared for a divine birth. And this external pruning is simply a mirror of the work being done within. The clearing of your outer world is accelerating the purification of your inner world. For every person that leaves, an inner attachment you held to them is severed. For every door that closes, an old assumption about your path is dissolved. This isn't just a change of circumstances. It is a fundamental change of self. You are being separated from your old identity, the one that needed those things to feel secure. The path is being cleared on the outside because a new being is being forged on the inside. This isolation is not a detour from your destiny. It is the path itself. This is the secret you must now embrace. This isolation is not a deviation from the path. It is the path. The feeling of being separated from the world is the necessary and deliberate separation from your old self. The you that entered this fire is not the you that will walk out of it. A new mission requires a new you. A grander assumption demands a more godlike consciousness. The person you were, with all their comforting limitations and familiar doubts, simply cannot inherit the promise. That version of you must die lovingly, peacefully in this sacred solitude. You are not being lost. You are being reborn in the chrysalis of your own imagination, shedding the memory of the caterpillar to awaken the truth of the butterfly. This is not a holding pattern. This is the great transformation. Understand why this is so necessary. The mission ahead, the blessing you have claimed in your inner world, carries a spiritual weight, a divine frequency. Your former character, built on the sands of external opinion and fleeting feelings, would shatter under its glory. This adversity is the forge of the I Am. It is purifying your mind, turning the dross of past pain into the steel of unwavering determination. It is turning the isolation into a fortress of inner strength. Unwavering faith is not a gentle gift. It is a weapon. It is a muscle. And it is forged here in the dark, when there is no external evidence to support it. You are building the spiritual and psychological frame to carry your destiny with grace, power, and authority. The infinite intelligence within you doesn't just want to hand you a blessing. It wants you to sustain it. It is preparing you to become a permanent resident of your desired state, not just a fleeting visitor. And this requires a profound emotional maturity, a deep spiritual resilience, and an unshakable mental fortitude. You are being trained to handle the new reality, to manage the pressures and the praise that come with your wish fulfilled, to be the calm eye of the storm, to anchor your sense of self not in the shifting world, but in the eternal I Am within. This is not a trial to test your worthiness. You are already worthy. This is a training to build your capacity, ensuring that when the floodgates of abundance open, you are the rock that stands firm, not the sand that washes away. This is your hidden training, a secret boot camp for the soul, away from the eyes of the world. While others see absence, you are forging your true spiritual armor. Piece by piece in the silence, you are building a new self. Your vision is being sharpened, your focus so refined by the darkness that you can now see the unseen. Your spiritual sensitivity is being heightened, no longer numb to the subtle currents of consciousness. And deep within you, dormant gifts, the powers of your imagination, your intuition, your inner knowing, are awakening from their long slumber. You are not just waiting out the storm. You are becoming the master of the storm. You are being turned into the living embodiment of the operant power of the universe. So feel it now, the final shift. This entire journey, the separation, the silence, the pruning, and the forging, has been for this one singular purpose: to perfectly align your inner being with the state of your wish fulfilled. The old self is now just a memory, a story you used to tell. The new you, the you who is the assumption, is no longer a future hope but a present reality in your consciousness. You are not waiting for the blessing to arrive. You are the blessing, preparing to manifest itself in the world of shadows. When you emerge from this sacred isolation, you will not simply be a person who has received a gift. You will be the gift itself made manifest. Your separation was your coronation. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator, standing in the holy silence where all worlds are born. So the question is, who are you becoming now that you are alone? Let me know in the comments below. What truth did the silence reveal to you? Subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications, because this is just the beginning of your remembrance. And if this message woke something up in you, wait until you see what's next. Click the video on your screen now and continue your transformation.